So this video is specifically for those who want to become a professional artist and finding it difficult because their family, friends, relatives, they don't approve. Topic of this video is how to handle the situation when your family doesn't support your decision of becoming a professional watercolor artist. And this is exactly applicable for any kind of professional artist, right? So if you fall under that category, if you are planning to become a professional artist, or if you are very serious about becoming a professional artist and your parents or your spouse don't agree with that, in that case, this is the video which will make you feel helpful. Okay, now why I'm sharing this? Because I am a professional watercolor artist, and it happened in my life that people never approved what I was planning to do. Okay, so this is my point of view. There is no should or shouldn't. This is just me trying to help you. This need not be exactly applicable for you. This is not the only way of handling it. Now, you may not agree with what I'm saying in this video, and that is perfectly okay, right? My idea is just to try to help you, right? So this is the kind of person who I am. Number one, when I was young, I was a shy, timid, and introverted kind of person. And I used to always obey my parents, like whatever my mother or father used to say, that I used to follow that. And I had an elder sister, she's no more, and she and my father used to have a very good rapport, and my father hardly used to scold her or say something to her, right? And my mother wanted me to listen to her and agree to her and obey her, because my elder sister was not doing that, and my father was not also doing that. So my mother had no other option but to expect from me. And I understood that. And I felt that, okay, my father and my elder sister is not listening to my mother, so I should do that. I should at least listen to my mother. I should at least follow my mother's advice and everything, right? So basically, I became a people pleaser. I used to be scared of my father, so I used to agree with him, and I wanted to be extra good with my mother. I was having a a little bit sorry for her, that my father and my elder sister is not listening, so I was feeling sorry for her, right? So basically, I became a total people pleaser. People pleaser means you say to get up, and I used to get up, and you say to sit down, okay, I will sit down. That was the kind of person who I was, right? I don't blame anybody, including my parents, for me becoming a people pleaser, because it was totally my decision, whatever I was doing. But I was innocent, I was small, I was young, I did not had a clue whether I was going in the right direction or not. So basically, I become a people pleaser. I love to go through psychology, and I have read books in which it was mentioned that people who are very people pleaser, okay, in the childhood, they grow up and either they become totally adamant, okay, because they try to be totally different from who they were in the childhood, or they continue to become a people pleaser. And I was from the second category. I became totally adamant. You say something, it is your wish. I'm not responsible for your happiness. And that was the kind of person who I became. I became totally rebellious after I grew up, after I joined college and all that. Why? Because I was so suppressed during my grown-up period that I felt, oh my God, too much. This is too much. Now I want to live a life which I just want to live, right? So I became totally like adamant. Okay, so it is something like this. If my husband says, Meeta, do you think you should do this? I said, no. Like, without even checking whether it is good or bad, I said, no. I was I became that kind of person. Then sometimes I toggled between this and that, extremes, right? Sometimes very adamant and sometimes too much people pleasing, because I was not very sure whether should I do this or should I do that. Okay, so like why I'm telling you all these things, how this is related to this topic. So this, understand this. When we are young, like when we are not adults or when we are children, at that time, we don't know anything, what is good, what is bad, and we agree to people. Okay, we agree to our parents. And it is told to us that being obedient is very good. Being polite, being submissive is very good. Why people say that? Why parents say that? Why can't they accept the children as it is? Because that makes their life easy. Just imagine if my daughter listens everything what I say, it makes my life easy. Okay. So I say, okay, you are very obedient and I praise, right? But that is not right. That is not the right way of parenting. Oh my God, am I questioning parenting? This is a very controversial topic, okay, but it is very important. Listen, if you really want to. Let's say my daughter's ambition is to become a mathematician, right? And all she wants to do is to eat, drink, and sleep mathematics, right? Just imagine. Now, on the other side, I have got hundreds of household chores to manage. And if I constantly tell my daughter, do this, do that, do that, do that, do that, help me, help mama, then what will happen? She will get diverted from her own ambitions, okay, her own goals. Now, on the other hand, if I say, oh, you don't do anything, you just study, do whatever you want, I will take care of this. Now, I'm teaching my daughter not to take responsibilities of the household chores. So in both the side, it is not good. If I'm totally telling her that do whatever you want, don't do household chores, then I'm not helping her to become a very responsible kind of person. And at the same time, if I just always ask my daughter to come and help me because there are a lot of household chores, then I'm helping her to get distracted from her own goals, right? Both the cases are not right. So if I want my daughter to also focus on her career, her own dreams and desires, and at the same time, I also want her to manage household chores, then the proper way will be to ask her what she likes, what she doesn't, and give her the things which she wants to do in a regular, repetitive manner, and find out what is the right time of doing it. I cannot just bombard things on her or ask her to do something, right? Okay, so this is something which is very, very important. And when I, let's say, if me as a mother, if I praise my daughter to be very obedient, oh wow, you are so obedient, I like that, then again she will become a people pleaser. So being a parent, we will have to think about all those things. Now, by chance, let's say your parents have not done that and you have become a people pleaser, and you are still, like, even after growing up, even after becoming adult, if you constantly check out, oh, this is what my husband has to say, if my husband is not allowing me to become a professional artist, I will just follow him. Okay, or I am an adult, but I'm still living with my parents, and my parents, I love them, they are like God and all that, they are so loving and they are so caring, and they have born and brought up, they have spent a lot of money, and now they are saying that don't become a professional artist. And if you are okay with that, then no problem at all. It is totally up to you. Okay. However, if that is exactly what you want to become, if no matter how much you love them, if you still feel that, I know I really want to become a professional watercolor artist or whatever professional artist, okay, I really know them. I really know that they are not agreeing to me because they are concerned, or maybe they don't like that field, or maybe they don't want me to suffer because they feel that becoming a professional artist is not a sure short way of earning money consistently every single month. Maybe they feel like that. Maybe they have got some other ideas in their mind. Maybe they want me to become a doctor, lawyer, scientist, engineer, whatever, right? Because they had a lot of dreams from me, desires from me, expectations from me. Now you have to take a decision, and that decision is very, very important. This is something which many people, they don't do. Many, okay? They avoid tough conversation. They simply avoid it. They don't want to confront with their parents or with their spouse. They just don't want any tough conversation. Okay, so that is another thing. When you become a total people pleaser, you just don't want to have tough conversations. But in life, we need to have a lot of tough conversations, which helps the other person to understand that we are individual. We are not just their spouse or their parent or their kids or something. We are an individual. It is very important to have tough conversations. So the first time, like, I will tell you a few tough conversations which helped me really. Okay, so I will give you some examples of that so that you can understand that I had those problems and I also never wanted tough conversations, and how tough conversation helped me. See, if a person is not agreeing to you, it is not necessary for them to agree to you 100%, right? But if that person is your parent or is your spouse, and they are not agreeing to you, or they are totally against you, like, forget about agreeing. If they are neutral, they are not agreeing, but they don't care, that is okay. But if they're against you, it is going to cause a major problem. If my spouse doesn't agree that I will become a professional artist and I will become a homemaker as well as a professional artist, then we will have constant fights. Whenever I will try to work and focus on my work, my husband will say, oh, again, you have started wasting your time, right? Or let's say I create a painting, my husband will say, oh my God, you are again wasting your time, right? So if they don't agree to what I'm doing in life, like spouse specifically, like, right? In that case, it will create a lot of rift. It will create a lot of tension. It will become the cause of a lot of family drama in front of kids, maybe. And that will be totally not good for your mental health, your spiritual health, as well as the health of your business, okay, art business or your profession. Exactly like that, if you are still living with your parents and your parents are totally against the idea that you want to become a professional artist, in that case, if you want to invest money, they will not give you money. If you want to invest time, they will say, oh, again, you're wasting time, right? So that will create a constant drift. In order to stop that constant drift, if you want to stop those drama, and if you want to have a very good positive energy and positive relationship with your spouse and your parents, right? So in that case, it is very important to have tough conversations, okay? In India, in many families, it is not considered as good to have tough conversations with your parents, okay? In India, I'm not sure about other parts of the world, but in many families, I'm not saying every family, I'm saying many families, it is not good. It is not considered as good to have tough conversations between family members, okay? And they think that it is fight. It is argument. They call it as argument, but having a tough conversation and having an argument is very different. When you are arguing with somebody, you are talking illogical and you're raising your voice, you're becoming angry, and you're probably insulting the other person's opinion. But in a tough conversation, you're putting your opinion strongly, you're defending your opinion without becoming angry, without insulting anybody, without judging anybody. You are just putting your opinion forward. And understand, every single person in this world has the right to have their own opinion. We call them as opinionated person, and it is very important to be an opinionated person, right? So when my mother was looking for a boy for getting me married, I was against that idea. Was I having an affair? No. Was I into a relationship? No. But my idea is, if a person, I don't know that person well, how can I get married to that person? That was my logic. Okay. Then I became friends with my current husband, Nilesh, and we were friends. And matter of factly, I told Nilesh that time, long time back, that my parents are finding a boy for me to get married. And Nilesh said that, quite many times, like quite some time back, later, he said that I would like my parents to meet you. I said, why? And I was a dumbo, okay? I was naive, or maybe I was foolish, or I was stupid. I could not guess that, okay? And he said, if they like you, maybe we can get married. Initially, it was like, because we were like friends, right? Later on, I thought, okay, not a bad idea. I know Nilesh. He is India's topper in GATE exam. He is like brilliant. I was like, and he was not from my culture. Like, I am Bengali and he was not Bengali, right? So there was quite a lot of family differences. And then his parents were about to come. And when I declared it with my mother was okay with this. But when I declared with my father thought, oh, Meeta is having an affair. I was not having an affair. He was just visiting me. Okay. And we were cool. If our parents never liked each other, we will say, okay, no problem. We can be still friends. Right. So I had a conversation, tough conversation with my father. So my elder sister's marriage was done with a Bengali person, Bengali family. And it was like not a good marriage. Right. So I told my father that you are objecting with the idea of his parents coming and meeting me because of two major reasons. Number one, they are not from our community. They are not from our culture. Okay, so they are not Bengalis. So can you guarantee that if I marry a Bengali, my marriage will be happy? Can you guarantee that? And he was like, he could not answer that because his elder daughter's marriage was not good. It was not running nicely, right? It ultimately turned into a divorce. So he could not say that. And second, I said that Nilesh is India topper. He's brilliant. He is always, like from childhood to adulthood, he was always scoring good marks. He's having a very good job. His family background is very good. He does not have any bad habits like eating, drinking, smoking, and all those things, right? He's not having a bad character. So basically, why are you rejecting that person? Even without meeting that person, what is the harm in meeting that person? And then the third point I said to him that, can you guarantee that you can find me a boy which matches that, all those features which Nilesh is having, plus that person is Bengali? Can you guarantee that? And the final thing I said, that just imagine you get me married to a person of your choice. I don't like it, but finally I say yes to that. And if my life is ruined because of that, are you going to take 100% responsibility of that? These are the 4 things I talk not in this manner, in a more sober manner, but I said that. All of that was very logical, and he agreed to meeting my now husband, right? My husband is absolutely brilliant, and he's the best friend now also. He's a very good father, he's a very good son, he's a very good brother, he's a very good husband, he's a very good friend. I could not have asked anything from God. But did I knew that time that he will be a very good husband? No, I had no idea about that. But I understood that by having a tough conversation with my father absolutely changed my life. Like that, I had a lot of tough conversations. After getting married, I was working as a software engineer, and we used to divide our jobs, like work, household work. But after some time, I became a total homemaker. Like I used to take care of my daughters. Now, why I'm telling you all these things? Because, you must be thinking that, Meeta, it will happen for you, but it cannot happen with me, right? That is why I'm sharing this. So I became a total housewife, like homemaker, taking care of my daughters, taking care of the house, and that's it. But slowly I became a patient of depression. That is because after my mother's death, I constantly started talking a lot of negative things. And from childhood to adulthood, I always wanted to become a professional, a job-oriented person. But I could not do that because of many things. So I became a homemaker, and I felt that this is not the life which I really wanted to live. So I slowly became a patient of depression. And I was a patient of depression for quite a long period of time, like several years. So I lost complete confidence. I had absolutely no confidence of talking with other people. I had a very bad relationship with my husband because I used to constantly fight with him because of my own internal problems. I used to scold my daughters. I used to say nasty things to my husband. And I was not at all a good person, like a nasty person. Inside, I was not good. Outside, maybe I was good. I was good with my friends. I was good with my relatives. But with my husband, no. And a lot of things were not true. Means whatever I was projecting to the world, that see how I'm so happy, that was not true. I was just projecting it. I was projecting as if I was confident. I was projecting that I was very happy, but that was not true, because from deep inside my heart, I failed, right? That was the kind of person I was. So when I was, later on, when I was planning to become a professional artist, like after many years, when I was planning to become a professional artist, at that time, I had to set some boundaries, right? I cannot just make tea and just serve my husband, right? Why? Because I have to manage my time. So that time I asked my husband, and my husband was always very good. The reason of the fight was me, not him, right? So the reason of all the relationship issues was not him, it was me. So when I overcame all those problems, and when I had to become a professional artist, it was not like my husband was against it, but my husband had doubt that, can you manage both? Can you take care of profession as well as the house, because you are anyway struggling? So I had a tough conversation with my husband one day, and I said, okay, so do you want a wife who will cook delicious food and serve you and take care of your home and do nothing for herself or sacrifice her own dreams? Or do you want a wife who want to do a lot for the world, who want to become a professional and want to grow in life, which one you would like? And he said the second one. I said, if you are selecting the second one, there will be issues, something like this. I may not be able to cook delicious food. I may just cook something very simple, which is very less time consuming. I may not be keeping my kitchen and the house clean. Will that be okay? And he said, okay. Is it okay if I ask you to do a few work? He said, okay. And is it okay for you to allow me my own space to grow? And he said, okay. And I said, do you think that kind of wife you will feel proud of? And he said, yes, that is exactly what I want. I don't want you to be a doormat. I don't want you to suffer in silence. I don't want you to kill all your dreams and goals and just become a housewife just because I want it, or just because you saw your mom doing it all the time. It was not a very tough conversation because he's a very kind, very intelligent, very intellectual person. And he's always was a very good friend of mine. But not everyone's husband is like that. Not everyone's spouse is like that, right? But finally, like my husband was not, my father was totally not in favor of that. But I had a tough conversation with my husband also. I had that conversation, right? After that, things were difficult for a couple of years because he was used to me serving him food. He was used to me doing all the kitchen jobs. Okay, he was used to many things which I had to change. When I was struggling to make time, I asked him to order food from outside, which was not at all okay, right, for him, because he loves homemade food, right? But he was okay. He saw me taking care of my profession. And for that time being, he understood that it was his decision to agree or not agree with the fact that I want to become a professional. So sacrifices are required. The tough conversation, when you have a very straightforward, tough conversation without argument, without name calling, without becoming nasty with the other person, without disrespecting the other person, when you stand strong for your own dreams, for your own goals, the other person respects you. Okay, I totally believe that. My husband and I would have had a lot of fight if I would not have that hard conversation that time. Okay, he would have different kind of expectations from me. That Meeta, if you are doing this, you also have to do that. But it is not possible. I am a human being. I am not a robot, right? So that is one tough conversation. So if your parents or if your spouse is not agreeing that of your dream of becoming a professional artist, then you have the option of having a tough conversation of not being a people pleaser, right? You also have to have a tough conversation with you. There are a lot of people who pay the blame game, who say that, okay, my husband is not approving or my parents are not approving, and that's why I cannot do this. So they play a blame game. Finally, it is your life. And finally, it is totally 100% your decision to agree with them or not to agree with them. You are not like a school-going kid, right? You are an adult. If you are an adult, what's harm in behaving like one, right? So why then you have to ask them why they are not supporting you. If they are not supporting you, it is not like you are begging their support. Please support me. Please, 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 I need your money. No. They are just mentally, are they supporting you? If they are not supporting you, you can ask them, okay, forget about the money. You don't give me the money, but why are you opposing my idea of becoming a professional artist? So now they will come out with a lot of doubts, insecurities. Maybe they are just opposing you because they love you. They care for you. They don't want you to struggle. Okay. Now, many of their doubts, worries, fears, and all that, insecurities are because they don't know what it takes to become a professional artist. Maybe they don't know what you have to do after you become a professional artist, or maybe you have been a people pleaser or a doormat for a long period of time, and now all of a sudden you feel like you want to become a professional. So they are not able to visualize you as a professional. And believe me, I was like that. I was a patient of depression. I used to take antidepressants. I used to take sleeping pills. I was suicidal, right? So my husband had seen all that thing. I used to comb once in a week. I used to dress up like, okay. So my husband, it took him a lot of time to understand that, yeah, Meeta can become a professional, right? So maybe your parents or your spouse is not able to visualize that you can become a professional and you can earn money, right? So that's why they are not supporting you. Okay, another reason, which is, I will talk about my father. I love my father, but this is where I don't agree. My father was like a boss, boss, like, I don't like those kind of husband. My father was like, boss, don't do this, don't do that. If you do this, I will be angry. If you do that, I will be angry, right? So that was kind of my father earlier, not now. Now he don't have anybody to boss around, right? So he's a very different kind of person. He's a very cool guy now. Okay, but earlier he used to be like that. So my father always asked my mother not to do any kind of job. He was against that. And in fact, in my maternal side as well as my paternal side, like everyone, there was no lady who was a working woman. So in my family, it was not a culture for a woman to do job. So it was against that. My mother wanted to earn money for herself, because whenever my mother used to ask money from my father used to say that money doesn't hang on trees. I have to do a lot of hard work in order to get the money. So I cannot just give it to you for your own things. Okay. But look at my mother, like she had a lot of dreams. She had a lot of goals. So, but finally it was her decision to follow my father. It was my mother's decision to obey my father. It was 100% my mother's decision. My mother never wanted to have a hard, tough conversation with my father, because my father was a very angry person. Okay. He used to shout and scream and all those things. So now he's not like that. But that was like my father. So my mother wanted to avoid any kind of rift or any kind of family drama. But what that costed her life. That costed her to feel unfulfilled from inside, right? And later on, when she was over all her responsibilities, when she had a lot of free time, she wanted to learn art. I had my entire cupboard full of, like, that time I was married and I had my first daughter, and I had my entire cupboard full of artistic things, because she wanted to stay with me for 6 months to take care of my daughter and also to have plenty of good times with my family and with me. The entire cupboard was full of artistic things: candles, ribbons, glue, sketch pens, paints, papers, brushes, clay, wax, everything. And me and my mother wanted to spend a lot of quality time. You know what happened? She died. I don't want to live a life like that. I don't want to keep on following somebody else's guidelines and wait for a time where I can live the life of myself and die. I don't want, I can't imagine me to do that, which my mother did. My mother literally waited for a time where everything is settled to take care of her dreams. You know, there are ladies who will be able to relate to that. Oh, let my daughter grow up. Let my son pass this exam. Let this happen. Let that happen. I cannot do this because I have to shift the house. I cannot do this because I'm going to India for a vacation. I cannot do this because of this. I cannot do that because of that. Right? So they keep on telling themselves why they have to wait for the perfect situation in order to take care of their dreams. And the perfect situation never comes. Like next month, we are shifting this house. This is a rented place. And we recently purchased a house and we are doing some arrangements there. And next month, we are going to shift. That doesn't change anything. Nothing. Okay, I will still have fun. Tomorrow we are going for a picnic. We will still have fun. We will still spend time. I will still watch movies. I will still play with my kittens. Nothing changes because we are shifting. I will not stop living because we are shifting to a new house. No. Right? So there are people who keep on giving excuses. I can't do this because of that. Though they are not agreeing to me, so I cannot do this. So they sacrifice their life, their dreams in order to please other people. Just like my mom, a day will come when it will be all gone. Okay. So you always have option. You always have choice. This is so important for you to understand that it is your life. You live the life which you really want to live. If you really want to obey them, don't blame them. Don't blame your spouse or don't blame your parents that because of them, you are living that life. It is 100% your decision to obey them or not to obey them. If you don't want to obey them, that doesn't make you a bad person. If you are not obeying your husband, that doesn't make you a bad wife. If you're not obeying your parents, that doesn't make you a bad child. Okay? Understand that. I'm not a bad person. I many times I don't listen to my husband. He's having his own, like I tell my husband, your name is Nilesh, my name is not Nilesh. You have got this one, and I fortunately have got this one. Right? We both are independent human beings. We are coming together and sharing each other's joy. Okay? We are bringing this person, like my husband is 100% responsible for his happiness, and me is 100% responsible for my happiness. My daughters are 100% responsible for their happiness. We all are coming together and living as a family and sharing our happinesses. Okay. My husband has got zero power to control me. I have got zero power to control my husband. And we are only guiding our daughters to live a good life. We are helping them to have good, habits and all those things. But finally, it is their decision, and we respect that. Nobody is ruling somebody. Nobody is being a boss, right? And it is up to me to understand how much I grow. It is totally my responsibility to grow in life. It is nobody else's responsibility. When I'm 100% responsible for myself, my good, my bad, my ugly, then and then only I will grow in life. Okay, so you understand that, 90% of time when people say that, they are not supporting me, so I cannot do it, that is just an excuse. Okay, but if it is a real problem, this video, which I just shared with you, this one can help you, right? Now, this is my way. This need not be your way. I 100% agree with my way. I have seen people thriving because of this attitude. So I will give 100% mark to this attitude. Take care. Bye-bye. See you.